And this stuff that's in here cannot coexist in a universe where solar eclipses play out like the way they do here. The reason for that is during the solar eclipse, when somebody finds themselves in the sweet spot on planet Earth, the moon and the sun are one. It's a direct line, shadow, sweet spot, absolute light. It's the only way it can play out, okay? A quick spontaneous offered the science, but still about protecting the children. Now, school. Send your kids off to school and you presume they're in safe hands. But human nature is human nature. It doesn't matter what the uniform is. Human nature doesn't change. Don't ever think that just because someone is, I don't know, a fireman, that they're not an axe murderer, right? Don't ever think that. Be really naive to think just because someone's in a uniform that they're safe, right? The person makes the uniform. The uniform does not make the person. Do not forget that, ever, all right? The kids, you got a child who's going to school and you get the occasional call. Little Billy did this, little Billy did that. He gets a random detention. Little things. And you start to get a little, hey, little Billy, come on, let's pick it up. But little Billy says, I haven't done anything, right? I haven't done anything. It keeps happening. There comes a moment, right, when, as a parent, you either look at the child and go, right, that's it, or you make an attempt to find out exactly, just to be sure, because a clash of personalities with the educational staff can have catastrophic events for a child if the parent doesn't pick it up. First of all, if the parent takes the side of the educational staff and it's lies, the child will be crushed because I didn't do anything. I've heard it all before. Listen, bedroom, no dinner, right? It changes everything. It changes the relationship that a parent has with a child. But if this goes on for a certain amount of, like, an extended amount of time, the child, who might have been maybe not an A+ student, but was a good kid, will start to feel like, well, might as well anyway, or just be very careful. We're talking about human nature, right? Be very careful, because the wrong person in the wrong place can do a lot of damage, and there are knock-on effects, right? If a certain amount of children are being singled out for stupid little things at school, little micro events, right? But they change everything for the child. Not to be believed by their parent, picked on at school, by the educational staff. It will change. You put two kids in a school, twins. One goes through that, one goes through a normal. And at the end of the education, when they come out at the end of high school, check their personalities and tell me that it wouldn't make a difference, right? Just make sure, because it can change, too much of that can change a parent's everything about their child, which will in turn change the child's everything about their parent. It creates a wedge. like we're not under pressure enough already to find out. And the best way to find out, I'd say, would be talk to the other kids and the other parents. If you must have one friend or two friends, hey, has anyone said anything about X? You'd be very surprised, right? So don't jump the gun, because that is one false start you don't really want to make. Don't forget, children, this stuff that happens now is what they will take into the future. So make sure you protect them. They don't need negative baggage. They're already under the pump. All right, I'll be back with some awesome science later.